Welcome to SOS Media, your number one source of the latest news, opinions, and in-depth investigations that dig deeper into today's developing stories around the globe. In April this year, R. Kelly through her lawyer Jennifer Bonjean officially filed an appeal in his federal crimes case out of New York, with several reasons as to why they think his conviction should be reversed. According to the legal documents obtained by SOS Media then, R. Kelly, who was found guilty in 2021 on 9 federal counts that included RICO charges as well as charges pertaining to intimate crimes and human trafficking, said that he had gotten a raw deal throughout the lengthy trial. R. Kelly's robust legal team strongly argued that the government did not meet its burden of proof in court despite a jury convicting him on all counts. His lawyers have specific gripes about the jury and some of the evidence prosecutors were allowed to submit during trial. For the jury, Jennifer Bonjean said that at least 4 of the jurors selected had since admitted prejudging R. Kelly's guilt before handing down their official verdict, and she said that at least 2 of them had watched the surviving R. Kelly docuseries and should never have been seated on the jury. As for the underage girls that he's alleged to have intimately gotten involved with, R. Kelly had an explanation for what happened in each case. He says some were, in fact, at least 18 years old when he met and engaged in close relationships with them, despite prosecutors' insistence the alleged grooming started while they were still minors. In some other circumstances, R. Kelly's legal team says that he was misled by those girls at the time about their real age. Now, on the evidence front, R. Kelly's team insists that there was a lot of stuff that was allowed in during the trial that shouldn't have been seen or heard by the jury, and this hurt his ability to get a fair trial. For instance, he says details about his intimate life, conduct and behavior with former partners or exes of his and accounts of which delved into STDs, and behavior in the bedroom were not relevant to the crimes being alleged against him but were simply a way for prosecutors to sway the jury. R. Kelly also pushes back on former employees and associates of his that were trotted out on the stand saying that, a lot of them falsely testified to things they had no real knowledge of and weren't privy to in their capacity as staffers. Like so many Me Too cases, the government was given free rein to make this case about R. Kelly's life, introducing mountains of other bad act evidence that had nothing to do with the charged offenses, R. Kelly's lawyers said in a statement. Meanwhile, R. Kelly's defense attorneys Jennifer Bonjean and Ashley Cohen also appealed his CP and enticement convictions, weeks after a U.S. District Judge Harry Leinenweber in Chicago sentenced him to 1 additional year in prison on top of his previous 30-year New York sentence. According to Bonjean, Jane, the star witness against R. Kelly in his federal trial in Chicago last year, lied to the jury about her plans to seek millions of dollars in restitution from R. Kelly upon his conviction. In the detailed 8-page filing addressed to the United States District Judge Harry Leinenweber, Bonjean explained that Jane falsely denied under oath that she had not made a decision about whether she would be seeking restitution from R. Kelly upon his conviction. "You haven't decided whether you're going to seek restitution?" Bonjean asked Jane at trial, to which she responded, "No." Allegedly, even though Jane was aware she would be seeking restitution from Kelly if found guilty, she chose to suggest she was still undecided on the matter. However, the truth according to Bonjean is that Jane had already hired a Boston-based lawyer and a team of experts to present a restitution package to Leinenweber, asking for an enormous $13 million from R. Kelly should he be found guilty. This in itself is proof that Jane's whole testimony in the trial was fueled by hopes of making a fortune off R. Kelly, and one can never be sure that she didn't have to twist her story here and there to have R. Kelly found guilty. Bonjean therefore seeks that all counts related to Jane and her testimony are completely thrown out the window, warranting a retrial. Now, we should understand that the chances of winning an appeal depend on various factors including the strength of the legal arguments presented, the evidence available, the applicable laws and the specific circumstances of the case. In both R. Kelly's New York and Chicago cases, Bonjean realized that there were significant legal errors and procedural mistakes made during the trials which will increase the chances of a successful appeal. These included issues related to jury instructions and selection, evidence admissibility and many other legal procedures. With time, new evidence has been emerging, especially that concerning the involvement of some of the alleged victims' parents, and the roles they played in getting them closer to R. Kelly. This discovery of new evidence that was not available during the original trial is going to be a strong basis for the appeal. This evidence is relevant and has the potential to significantly impact the outcome of the cases. For us who have had an opportunity and time to read through Bonjean's appeal briefs can testify to their high and articulate quality of the legal arguments presented therein. They are well-researched, persuasive arguments backed by legal precedent. Now, for years R. Kelly and his legal team have maintained that the proceedings against him were more about societal anger over women's treatment than anything he personally did. My general comment is that these bloodthirsty, Me Too, prosecutions of high-profile men have done nothing more than allow prosecutors to pat themselves on the back in press conferences and make a lot of people rich, R. Kelly's lawyer, Bonjean told Vulture in an email. These symbolic prosecutions have done nothing to improve the lives of women in society. Misogyny is alive and well, she added. It can also be observed that the media coverage has been driven by a seemingly popular appeal, which I believe has led to biased legal and judicial processes by people more concerned about their political and professional lives, or their own extreme ideologies than truly being arbiters of justice. We should also know that when a party wins an appeal, it means that the higher court has determined that there was a legal error in the previous trial, or that the case should be reconsidered for some other valid reason. It is also true that the specific consequences of winning an appeal can vary depending on the nature of the case, and the decisions made by the appellate court. Given the circumstances and the arguments of R. Kelly's appeals, we strongly remain optimistic that the appellate court will reverse some or all of the decisions made in the original trials. This could include overturning the conviction, vacating the sentences or ordering for new trials. But we should also remember the fact that in criminal cases like R. Kelly's, if the appellate court determines that there was insufficient evidence to support a conviction, it may result in an acquittal, which means that the defendant is found not guilty and thus free to walk out of prison and back home. As of today, R. Kelly through his attorney Jennifer Bonjean has appealed both his federal cases in New York and Illinois, and the process is ongoing. Mid this month, the government requested for yet another extension of time to file its Illinois reply brief to 30th of November 2023. However, we remain optimistic that this appeal process will finally hand R. Kelly his deserved and long-awaited freedom. Thank you for watching today's video brought to you by SOS Media. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss any of our videos. Also remember to leave your comment about today's topic in the comment section below.